Hey everyone. So we're back. We are going to finish up these next pages of this first section of Unit 6. We are actually going to be working on exercise or Lesson B. Lesson B. The first part of Lesson B. Second part of Lesson B will actually be for your homework. So let's get to it. Okay. Great. I wanted to make sure that we skipped on over that my face that you'll be able to see it. So let's talk about this thing here. All right. Great. That came over. Great. Okay. Awesome. So let's move me over here. Okay. So in this this next part of our lesson, our focus is going to be on grammar. And I don't know if you can hear that car outside, but it is driving me nuts and I won't be able to. Oh, it stopped. Okay. Yay. And I'm not going to turn it off because you know how technology is. As soon as I turn it off and I try to do it again, then it won't work. So we are just going to do what? Go with the flow. Okay. All right. So our focus is going to be the simple present with our what questions. Of course, we do, we have a lot of WH questions: why, what, who, when, where. This focus is going to be on our what questions. And it's going to be, we're going to talk about the simple present. In the simple present, we use the simple present tense for a repeated or regular action, something that we normally do. Maybe it's every day or every week or something like that, every hour, something that we normally do, or it's a repeated action. So let's describe things we do regularly. All right. So we're going to watch this video, and then we're going to come back and talk about this a little bit further. So the last time when I clicked on the link, it didn't come back the way I wanted it to. So I'm not going to do that this time. I'm going to just watch the video. There we go. And go.
Simple present. What questions? Unit 6, Lesson B. What do you do in the evening? Watch and listen.
What do you do on Saturday?
I play soccer. What does he do in the afternoon?
He studies. What does she do in the morning?
She reads. What do they do in the evening?
They watch TV.
Check your understanding. Look at the picture. Ask the question.
What do you do on Saturday?
Listen to the question. Look at the picture. Answer the question.
What do you do on Saturday?
I play soccer.
Look at the picture. Ask the question.
What does he do in the afternoon?
Listen to the question. Look at the picture. Answer the question.
What does he do in the afternoon?
He studies.
Look at the picture. Ask the question.
What does she do in the morning?
Listen to the question. Look at the picture. Answer the question.
What does she do in the morning?
She reads.
Look at the picture. Ask the question.
What do they do in the evening?
Listen to the question. Look at the picture. Answer the question.
What do they do in the evening?
They watch TV.
Let's review.
What do you do in the evening?
I read.
What does he do every evening?
He reads. What does she do in the evening?
She reads.
What do they do every evening?
They read.
With he and she, do becomes does. Exercise becomes exercises. Go becomes goes. Study becomes studies. Watch becomes watches.
All right. So now let's go back to our okay, great. So as we just saw in the video, when you are answering a question with he, where he or she is the subject, the verb will change to match, the verb tense will change to match the subject he or she or it. He, she, or it. But of course, when we're talking about people, we say he or she. Okay, let's move to the next slide. So here's the sentence. I read in the evening. So the question is, what do you do in the evening? I read in the evening. I read. What do you do in the evening? I read. What does he do every evening? He reads. Okay. If we think about our simple present, I read, you read, he reads, she reads. These are all singular. They read is plural. Okay. You, of course, can also be plural. You can be either singular or plural. But for our singular, I, you, and they, or we, it's read. The change only comes with he, she, or it. In this case, he reads, she reads. Okay. And that change will always be different for he and she, with whether it's regular or irregular verbs. Okay. Now we're going to look at exercise 2. And we're going to talk about, go through each of these answers, or each of these questions and answers. So if we come back up here, we'll notice that when we ask about what you do, we say, what do you do? Just like with he and she, do becomes does. So it's, what does he do? What does she do? What do they do? This might be a little confusing. So let me explain this a little bit more. This do is our regular verb in our sentence. It functions, or we use it as a regular verb in our sentence. This do, this form of do, is what we use to help with our what question. What I mean is, if you want to ask a question about what do you do, or what do you, this do can become anything. What do you read in the evening? What do you eat in the evening? What do you wear in the evening? So this do can become any verb. It can become any verb. They're only using it here probably to confuse us all. I wish they'd used a different verb, but this do is operating just like any verb would. This one is all about helping out what? This is all about helping out what? So what do you? What does he? And that's why it changes to match the subject. This one is the one that will change to match the subject. This will remain the same no matter what verb it is. What do you wear in the evening? What does he wear in the evening? What does she wear in the evening? What do they wear every evening? This verb will be the same no matter what verb it is. But this one will change to match our subject right here. What do you? What does he? What does she? What do they? Okay, it will change to match our subject. So when we look at these examples down here, which I'm going to, hopefully you will have already completed it, and I'm going to move myself over here. So hopefully you've already completed these. And let's look at what our assignment is. Complete the sentences. Use do or does and the correct form of the verb. So in the question part, they want you to use do or does. And in the answer part, they want you to choose the correct form of the verb. Now, to figure out which is the correct form of do or does to use, you have to come and look at your subject. What is your subject in each sentence, right? And once you look at your subject, then you can figure out which form of the verb, which form of this verb do right here you're supposed to use. So let's look at each one. Number one is already completed for you. Number one, A, what do they do in the evening? So let's look at our subject. Our subject is they. So we know that with they, it's what do they? What do they do in the evening? And our answer, we have to choose either watch or watches. Well, if you think about our simple present, when you think about our simple present, our plural form is the same as our regular singular form. Remember, this part all stays the same. So they watch TV. They watch TV. Okay. Number 2. He is our subject. So if he is our subject, what are we going to put for our question? What does he? And then our answer, so what does he do in the afternoon? And he what? Now remember up here with he or she, study becomes studies. So since we are using he, and we have to pick either study or studies, we know with he, we have to use studies. So let's look at our answer. What does he do in the afternoon? He studies. Number 3, she is our subject. What blank she do in the morning? She, what's our answer? What does she do in the morning? She exercises. What does she do in the morning? She exercises. Number 4. Okay, I'm not going to use the pointer for number 4. Let's look at number 4. Our subject is they. Our subject is they. What blank they do on Sunday? They blank to the park. Number 4, what do they do on Sunday? They go to the park. Okay. What do they do on Sunday? They go to the park. All right. Number 5, what? Well, our subject is she. Our subject is she. So if our subject is she, what? Every evening, she reads. Let's look at our answer. What does she do every evening? She reads. This says number 3 again. It should say 6. I just noticed that. So this should actually be number 6. So for number 6, our subject is he. What blank he do in the afternoon? He. So let's look at our answer. What does he do in the afternoon? He takes a nap. So let's listen to the answers.
Page 72, Exercise 2A. Track 3. 1.
What do they do in the evening?
They watch TV.
2.
What does he do in the afternoon?
He studies.
3. What does she do in the morning?
She exercises.
4. What do they do on Sunday?
They go to the park.
5.
What does she do every evening?
She reads.
6.
What does he do in the afternoon?
He takes a nap.
Okay. So that's it for that page. Now let's talk about our homework. So for homework, I want you guys to continue with our what questions or simple present what questions. Do in the student book, I want you to do page 73. And in the workbook, I want you to do pages 66 through 69. And we will go over that. We will go over this work in our next class next week. All right. Hope you guys have a great week and talk to you soon.